Hi, everyone. Our names are Marina.
My name is Michael Reyes.
My name's Yasmin Lara.
Today, we will be discussing some songs that illustrate the concept of sociological imagination. To start off, we will first be describing what exactly is sociological imagination, the key concepts and ideas, the research process behind it, and then lastly, talk about how it relates to our pop culture. The term sociological imagination was first created by C. Wright Mills, an American sociologist who wrote the book, The Sociological Imagination. In his book, Mills quoted, "The sociological imagination enables us to grasp history and biography and the relations between the two within society. That is its task and promise." So let's break up this quote to make it more simple to understand. The first part of the quote mentions the ability to grasp history and biography and the relations between the two within society. The key words here are history and biography. History stands for the sociological ideals and beliefs. Biography stands for the individual. Mills wanted to create a term that described the awareness of making connections between society can influence your individual experiences and decisions. Sociologists study how society can shape personal experiences and interactions that someone goes through. The second part of the quote states that it is its task and promise. Sociologists view this as meaning that the concept of the individual and society are inseparable and must coexist. For research towards social imagination, they study social facts and their consequences to better understand the connections between the individual and society. These social facts could mean morals, laws, beliefs, religions, and fashions. For my song, I chose American Idiot by Green Day. The song is pretty much the band saying, "Screw you" to politics and the media. There's a lot of that awareness of knowing how politics and media can influence and change people's perspectives. The band is pretty much saying that they aren't going to follow that. Politics and media are those social facts that we mentioned that sociologists use to understand sociological imagination.
So the song that I chose was Done by Nirvana. It's a very personal song about heavy drug abuse and the feeling of relief when you take them. Substance abuse is a very heavy topic that affects millions of people around the world, and it's the reason for its addiction, bad health, and mental depression. Sociological imagination is a method of thinking about our daily routines in a different way and teaching ourselves to think in a much more broader way. We should think in a way that connects society to an individual in order to think about how our society affects that individual and their personal values, beliefs, morals, and reasoning. It's important for sociologists to avoid bias or obtain value neutrality, simply because we all come from different backgrounds and believe many different reasons as to why certain problems occur in our society. So how can we use sociological imagination to view drug abuse? Well, there are many reasons why people get into drug abuse, such as feelings of low self-esteem, guilt, financial or family issues, stress, anxiety, and depression. These feelings are what many would call direct personal problems. It's their own issues, such as low self-esteem, anxiety, and feelings of guilt. And because we don't share these feelings or because they don't directly affect us, we don't pay much attention to them. However, everyone can still relate to these feelings. These aren't personal feelings shared by only the individuals themselves. Everyone would love it if these feelings just disappeared and all they were left with was happiness, confidence, and a feeling of achievement. And this becomes the main appeal for drug abuse. Researchers in the articles, Factors Affecting Entry into Drugs Amongst Youths in Lafia Metropolis, had 5 field researchers conduct a study in Lafia, Nigeria. The study found that, quote, the perceived benefit of being high and exuding with self-confidence was found to have lured many youths to drug abuse, end quote. This was a direct finding after the survey was conducted. Research also found in the article, Defining Drinking Culture, a critical review of its meaning and connotation, also found why it's so easy to get into drug addiction at such a young age, where they state, quote, these findings showed 3 possible explanations for increased drug use among the youth. These included poor parental control, availability of drugs, and easy access to drugs, end quote. Poor parental influence includes situations where parents are drug abusers themselves, whether or not they push children into their education or the workforce, and overall parents who are less involved in their kids' lives are all possible factors that are strongly supported by other findings. The availability of drug use and the little to no law enforcement also allowed for more substance abuse in the youth. Finally, the general culture of parental use of drugs, peers' use of drugs, and siblings' use of drugs had a significant effect on drug abuse in the youths. Now, these findings are not just seen in Lafayette, Nigeria, as these factors can be seen in our own culture as well. Songs dictating drug abuse have been popular for many years and have made their way across multiple genres. Drug abuse in Hollywood, in poor neighborhoods, and even in many high schools are so seen greatly. Even drugs that are readily available at every corner store, such as alcohol and cigarettes, are still present in our neighborhoods. Our material culture and the wide acceptance of drug use affects our non-material culture to let loose and have fun. As Nirvana would put it, quote, "I think I'm dumb, I think I'm just happy," end quote.
A song I decided to choose in order to illustrate the concept of sociological imagination is Another Brick in the Wall by Pink Floyd. When first listening to the song, a person might think it's about protesting how controlling the school system is towards students, also how the kids are rebelling against school rules and how demanding the teachers are. The reality is that this song has a much deeper meaning to what it seems to be. It discusses how the government is controlling over people and how it doesn't allow people to do what they want. Rather, every decision and choice is governed by the government. Sociologists use social imagination to view this topic very differently from how others view the government. According to Definition of Social Control by Ashley Cross-Arm, social control manages humans through rules, laws, norms, and social structure. Without social control in humans, society would be unmanageable. Confusion and chaos would arise. It's very essential to control human behavior. This is achieved through institutional, economic, and social structure. Socialization teaches us how to behave in accepted ways others expect. By doing so, participation in society effectively controlled. Another article titled Power and Authority by Press Books. Unlike political scientists, sociologists have a different approach when studying governmental power and authority. Political scientists focus on how power is distributed, while sociologists focus on how governmental power influences society and how social conflicts arise. They also focus on how power affects states, local, global agendas, and national. In return, this affects people depending on their class, status, and socioeconomic standing. Governmental power is seen in current events. For instance, recently the government has made it illegal for women to obtain an abortion in some states. This is an example of power control. This new law has influenced many people. Many have different thoughts and opinions about this decision. There have been various protests against abortion, while others support it. In conclusion, sociological imagination helps me and many others understand social reality, an awareness of the relationship between who we are as individuals and the social forces that shape our lives.
So we have come up with some questions to ask our fellow classmates. My question is, what are some types of current political propaganda in our media today?
And my question is, how can we use sociological imagination to view heavy problems such as drug abuse?
And my question is, what is society without a government?